to explain to you why having this mindset of closing actually only ends up in you ending up in a lose situation. Okay. God controls everything. Okay. The entire world is in God's dominion. We're just like this little speck. If you've ever seen this video, it's called the pale blue dot. I highly recommend that you watch this, okay? It's called the pale blue dot. I'll just type it in over here. It really puts into perspective how small we really are. And if you think that through your techniques that you're going to close a whole bunch of these clients and make a whole bunch of money and you're going to solve all your issues and have all the time in the world to spend with your family and then be able to live your dreams, you're wrong. I was wrong. I was completely wrong about this because I kept pushing. I kept using force in order to get more clients to make more money. That's what closing is. It's force. And what I'm going to teach you today is how to use power. But before we get into the concept and the idea of power, I want to first go into what force actually is. Okay, this is what force feels like. If you've ever felt this way in business, in being able to bring on more clients, in any area really, it feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill, right? It feels very laborful, very difficult. There's a lot of effort that goes into this. And it's because you're constantly trying to mold and bend the world that, as I mentioned earlier, is in God's domain to your will. You know what trying to control the outcome of any conversation, such as a sales conversation or a conversation where you're hiring someone for work or like a performance improvement plan, you know what you trying to make someone and control someone to be how you want them to be? You know what that is? That's you basically saying to God, I know you have a plan. I know you're the creator of all things and fate is in your hands. But I think that there's an outcome for this interaction that I know and see that's going to end up better than what your plan is. And that's the arrogance of man. That's the arrogance of man. I can't tell you how many times growing up, I wouldn't listen to my mom because I thought that I knew better. I can't tell you how many times that there was a client that I knew I shouldn't bring on, but I closed them. And they ended up being a pain in the butt. Chargebacks, cancellations, over communicating, trying to call our account managers in the middle of the night. It's just a nightmare because I was trying to close these clients. I was trying to force these clients up a hill that they were never meant to be on in the first place. And chances are that if in business right now, you are feeling like you just aren't making the progress that you want to make, it's probably because you're this guy right over here. You're pushing the damn boulder up the hill. So what am I suggesting? You get out the way and it crushes you? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm suggesting is that you have to very carefully dismount from this mountain and absolve yourself of whatever responsibility. So in a sales call, you could say, hey, I just don't think this program is going to be a fit for you anymore. Click, goodbye. If it's an employee and they're not a good fit, let them go. Stop trying to continue to, I'll say this the last time, fit this sort of square peg in a round hole. That's what closing and forcing and pushing really is. What I want you to start focusing on is the idea of power. This is what power feels like. With one flick, the dominoes just fall one after the other and everything comes into place. And undoubtedly, you have experienced moments in your life like this. Meeting my wife was one of those. Okay, I was not planning. Like the previous week before meeting my wife, I was trying to speak with a whole bunch of girls, trying to get phone numbers. I was just being, someone that was trying to get attention. I wanted to feel significant. I wanted to just be important to someone. I was desperate. And when I let go of that and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the least populated part of the library. I'm going to go to the least busy part and I'm going to get some work done. And it was right there, 5 minutes later, that my wife, Kathleen, came and sat down next to me. And I needed some paper to write on. Genuinely, I left my scrapbook at home And I had a mathematics midterm the next day, and I looked over to my left, and there she was, and I asked her for the paper. And then eventually, next thing you know, we just started having a conversation. She asked for my phone number, and the rest is history. This was over a decade ago, and that was effortless. That's how business should be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be difficult at times and feel maybe stressful at times, but it should never feel like you're having to force something. And for me, the distinction between force and power is that I know that I will be okay if I don't get this thing that I think I need so badly or that I want so badly, whether again it's a client or whether it's a hire or whether it's a existing employee doing something in a certain type of way, whether it's a certain deal or a joint venture or whatever, a new development, a product that you're creating in your business to expand horizons. When we expect, that's I think the key with force. Like when we have these expectations of how things should be, that's when things start going wrong. That's when things start feeling like we have to make it go in this direction. It's almost like, when you have a car that you're having to push because it broke down, and then the person on the inside is having to steer really hard to make it go to the right and then go to the left. And I don't know if you've ever pushed a car that needs to be towed, but sometimes it can be a freaking pain in the butt. It's not as easy as driving it. And in that moment, the car is stationary, it's static. Just let it be over there, right? Just call the freaking tow truck and they'll take it. In that moment, no matter how much force you do, you could end up injuring yourself. What I'm trying to say over here, man, is that if a client is having resistance, then rather than trying to overcome it and push them past it, acknowledge it. Hey, Mr. Prospect, I'm sensing that you have some resistance to what I'm saying, and I just want you to know that I'm not here to hard close you. In fact, I want you to promise me that you're not even going to say yes today. I can't tell you how many times when I told the prospect, you're not going to make a decision today. I don't want you to make a decision today. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. So here, all the pressure is off you now. Tell me what's really happening with you. That is power. That is me making a statement that I don't need your money. I'm good. I'm okay. You tell me about you. I'm here to serve you. So instead of closing, and this is a sales analogy, but this applies to in life, instead of closing and persuading and pushing, maybe start having a dialogue. Right? Maybe we could start having a dialogue with individuals. I'm going to write this down because I love this word, dialogue. And I'm going to bold this. And this is the key. It's not letting me make it bigger than 280, but I'm going to hack it over here. Whatever, dialogue. You know what? I'll do this. Boom. This is the key, man. This is the key. And you may think that I'm talking about dialogue with the client or the freaking employee or the developer or whoever is on your team. No. I'm talking about you having a dialogue with yourself. When I started talking to myself and asking myself, what's coming up for me right now? Why do I feel like I need this deal? Why do I feel like I need to control the outcome? Man, I was losing. So the dialogue that I started having with myself was, can I let go of this position that I'm holding right now? Can I let go of being right? Can I let go of thinking I have the answer? Why? Because God has the answer. With any dialogue that we have, we need to start pushing towards God's decree. And that can only happen through surrender, right? We surrender our desire to want to push people in a certain direction. We surrender our desire to really want an outcome that we think is best. And we put trust in God that God's got the best outcome for us. And that's when we can then also start having a dialogue with the client on what's best for them and what they really want and what they really feel and what they really crave. That's powerful. That's really powerful. I bet you that your employees have never been with a leader, a CEO, a boss like that. I bet your prospects have never, ever. My battery's low, dude. I'm going to plug it's a catch-22 because I was plugging that into my light, and now if my light goes off, I have crappy lighting, but then I don't want a dead laptop. So the dialogue that I'm having inside is that I can just let go if my light goes off, and if I'm dark, then so be it. I'll just be another darkie on the streets, and the police can arrest me for this realness. But yeah, man, God wants you to surrender. God wants us to just let things freaking be, man. And then the deals will come in. The clients will come. The money will come. I'm making more money off 3 clients than I made off over 100 clients in my previous agency because I let go, and those clients came to me while I was on a hiatus in freaking Italy, traveling with my family. This works. Put your trust in God. Stop trying to force shit and just let it be, man. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.